It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busting. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Check our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. But they say live and level, live and level. We on the MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busting. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Check our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head. All right. I was having a few mic problems. I was trying to figure out what was going on. What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead, and this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are back with another one. This is episode 159, mental health, and video games. I'm right now by myself. I'm on my lonesome. Begin to sign out or sign off in the live chat, and of course, I'm gonna be looking at that here and there. K-Bum should be jumping on here shortly. Hopefully, Keith Norris will be able to jump on as well as D2K. Jedi Knight won't be able to jump on today, but you have your boy here. So what's good? What is good? What is going on? I'm trying to get this stuff set up. My stuff's still playing, and I got a whole bunch going on my way. But welcome to the show. Hope y'all tuning in. Hope y'all are comfortable. Got your earphones in, popcorn and drink on hand, because discussion will be going down. About to run over here real quick to see who's actually here. So let me see. Let's see who here. I don't know why I don't be here it is. Let's see who in here. So we got Dark Sun Rider. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, bro? Anybody else that's here, go ahead and let me know. I'll be going back and forth. But yeah, man, welcome to the show. I'm sorry we wasn't able to do a show last week. My babies had their birthday party because their birthday was last week, and we celebrated it on the Sunday that we typically do the podcast. I apologize. I wanted to have the podcast because me and K-Bun was talking about the situation that took place in Florida with this Madden tournament and the shooting that took place. 2 people losing their lives, and 3 people losing their life, 2 innocently, 1 taking his own life. And we need to talk about this stuff. Is there some real issues with some of these people that we call compadres and fellow gamers and their mental health, mental issues, mental concerns? And are we seeing this type of stuff going on within our own community, whether or not it leads to violence or not? Do we see a lot of mental health issues going on within our community right here on YouTube? That's kind of what we want to talk about, because no one should ever lose their life for going to play video games. No one should be in fear or have to worry about their life while playing a video game. I can understand if you're in an unsafe environment, but if you at a tournament where this is supposed to be gamers enjoying competitive gameplay, I don't think you should lose your life because someone lost and couldn't handle their loss. Now, again, they're chopping it up and saying that this young man had mental health issues. We're gonna deal with that as well. What's up, Nissan Gamer? Welcome to the show. Right now I'm on my lonesome, just kind of talking it up until a few guys jump in here. K-Bum will be here in 5 minutes. So I'm just kind of, you know what I'm saying, buying some time until some of the fellas jump in. So let me know. Give me some thoughts in the comment section, man, because we're going to hit this Madden issue with the tournament and the shooting. That's going to be our main topic. But we got a few other topics that's going to pop off before then. We're going to talk about Sony doubling down on the whole cross-play situation, and was their statement a sign of extreme arrogance, or are they just in a good position? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Nintendo's Nindies Showcase. We're going to talk about Spiderman's Graphical Down Grade. We're going to talk about what else we got. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. The gameplay that they showed, the video that they showed, and we're going to ask the question, has they revealed been great or bad? We're going to deal with that as well. We're going to deal with online voice chat for older NES games. We're going to deal with that and a few other topics. So we're going to be talking about a few things, but our main topic is mental health and video games. Around the whole situation that took place in Florida with the Madden tournament and 3 people losing their life, 2 individuals innocently, and 1 taking his own life after he took the lives of these 2 gamers. So we're going to talk about that. As for me, let's get into the what we've been gaming on. And I've been on Madden, man. I mean, not Madden. I've been on Mario Kart. I don't know why Madden is in my head. I've been on this Mario Kart. I don't know what it is. I've been jumping into these tournaments with Keith. I mean, not Keith, but Alex, Sin, and Nia, and a few other folks. And it just got me really back into Mario Kart. I don't know what it is. I'm just really loving Mario Kart right now. That, and what else did I play this week? I played Street Fighters, Third Strike on the Street Fighter Capcom's Street Fighter collection. I played that a little bit this week. But Mario Kart been the main thing that I've been playing. And I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely enjoying Mario Kart. I don't know what it is. I think I need to jump back on Splatoon 2. I actually turned my PlayStation on. I didn't play anything, but I turned it on because it hadn't seen the day of electricity in a long time. So I gave it a little power so that it can turn and, and can actually turn on. Yeah, I did. It's been laying straight lifeless for the last probably 7-8 months. I actually haven't played since God of War. So that's been about 3 months, at least 2 months since I've actually even turned my PlayStation 4 on. Well, it's good. What y'all been playing on first name basis? What you been playing? Mario Kart is still that game to play. It's just fun. I agree. Dark Sun Rider, what have you been playing? Ace Tech HD, what's up, bro? And RIP to those that lost their life. True. They need that. Who else in here? So right now, them 4 are here, or those 3 are here. And if y'all been playing something, let me know. Just let me know, and I'll give it out. But yeah, man, lot going on. The Nintendo Nindies Showcase I thought was unnecessary. I'm gonna be honest with you, getting into these topics. I thought it was unnecessary, man. They didn't show anything to me that was, I don't know. That's how I felt to me. I felt like they could have did something better. And I feel like Nintendo, I don't feel like they have dropped the ball like I hear others are saying with 2018. But I do feel like Nintendo has been very underwhelming from a first-party standpoint. Like, I don't understand. I heard about they had the Nindies Showcase in Europe, I guess, and now, or the UK or somewhere, and now they had it here. And what they showed, they probably, I don't know, I don't think they needed to have a showcase for this stuff. I don't know. And then you kind of find out that there was titles that's coming to the Switch that was indie made, that was bigger than these titles that they show. I don't know what's going on with Nintendo. It seems like Nintendo don't really have, I don't know what's going on with them. We still haven't had, and it's September, and the whole online services is happening now. It's about to happen. I heard by the middle of September, we should be having to buy the online service for the Switch. So we're going to have to drop $20 to continue to play online on the Switch here soon, maybe in the next few weeks. And Nintendo still hasn't had a direct, a showcase, a informational, anything to really tell us what we're getting with this online paid service. I don't get what's going on here. Like, why do we not have a direct dedicated to the online service that's about to be offered? I know that they just leaked a lot of stuff and leaked this 6.0 update and stuff in there supposed to pertain to the actual online services. But why hasn't Nintendo just had a direct dedicated to the online services? What is going on here? I don't understand it. Somebody in the live chat, let me know what you think and why you feel Nintendo has yet to have a direct dedicated to what they're about to do here in the next few weeks. Dark Side Rider said, I think Nintendo purposely held back first-party titles this year for third-party titles releases. I can kind of see that. With the Wii U, it was all third parties to start, and then Nintendo games, I guess, later. True. Agree with that. But Nintendo had a good while with the Wii U because they didn't make anything for the Wii U after so many years. It was obvious that they had basically called it quits on the Wii U and was basically moving on to what we came to find out after the NX. The NX was the Switch. They had moved on to the Switch, which Breath of the Wild moved to the Switch. And then we got Odyssey, we got Orms, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We had, first year was good. We had the X Chronicles 2. All this was great. We got a lot of parts. Great. But it's hard for me to believe Nintendo doesn't have more. I could be just being selfish as a Nintendo fan and wanting more, but I just want to believe Nintendo has more to offer, right? Insane Gamer said, I think we will get a direct the same day the online subscription go live. Man, if that happened, I'm gonna be upset because I think they should be doing it at least a week out, at least a few days away from when you actually have to pay for it. But they possibly might do that. Dark Sun Rider says, yeah, that's true. I think some of the stuff we got on the Switch might have been held back from the Wii U. I believe that. I agree with that. I believe what we got on the Switch was stuff that was probably scheduled to come to the Wii U, and they saw that the Wii U was a done deal, and they held this stuff to the Switch. I think Mario Odyssey probably was one of those games as well. So I don't think it was they came up with the idea of the Switch and then started working on Mario Odyssey. I think Mario Odyssey was in the works. They saw that the Wii U wasn't going to be a great system, and I think Mario 3D World was an upgraded 3DS game that they put on the Switch, on the Wii U. That's what I think happened. And then they held off Mario Odyssey for the Switch, or the NX at that time, now the Switch. So, yeah, I agree with you, Dark Sun Rider. I believe that's what happened. Instant Gamer, they should, but it's Nintendo, and they don't always do what they should. You're right. They should have a direct for the online services right now. But Nintendo, like you said, don't always do what makes sense. So the question is, why are we still Nintendo fans? No, I'm just joking. I'm playing. Don't hold me. Don't show nobody this podcast and I said that. But I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand why Nintendo has yet to have a direct dedicated to the online services. I think it's a lot that we need to know. I heard about the whole voice chat for these older titles. That sounds cool to me. But hey, can we get more information on it? How's this going to work? What all can we do with this? I know you gave us tidbits in the past, but hey, bro, this is about to come out this month. It's September. You have had all of 18 to share something on this online service plan, SKU, whatever, and you just have not released anything. I don't get that. Let me ask y'all this. Do that give y'all concern and cause to pause on whether or not you're going to get it, because Nintendo seems to be reluctant to share any meaningful information on the service? Give me some feedback. I'm looking in here. I'm gonna respond. Do you feel, or are you kind of concerned that Nintendo to date has yet to really give any informative information about the online services? Dark Sun Rider said, I don't think there's a lot to talk about the online services we don't already know, so that's why we haven't heard anything. I hope that it isn't the case. First name basis said, yes, they are wasting. They are, I guess you meant wasting time or waiting time. I don't know. I agree. I don't think they got a lot to talk about. And I don't think the services is where they really want it at. And that's scary, man. I'm scared that Nintendo still really don't know how to approach a pay-for service, online service. They still haven't addressed the voice chat. Or do we still have to use? Matter of fact, no, they did, because they still making you use the phone app. They're still forcing you to utilize the phone app, because when they were talking about Diablo 3, you would be able to use the phone app to do voice chat. When you look at something like Fortnite, you thought, oh, Nintendo is about to change this, because Fortnite you could do voice chat straight from hooking into the Switch. No phone app, none of this. But with Diablo 3, they push phone app as the way to voice chat. That's concerning to me. I'm sorry. I don't know how y'all feel about it. That concerns old Levelhead. I'm trying to look at this with optimism and positivity. But the fact that Nintendo has yet, we have had a direct about Smash Bros. We had an E3 almost dedicated to Smash Bros. We had a Nindies Showcase. We had another Nindies Showcase. We as a matter of fact, we had a showcase for a mobile title, and we still haven't had a direct or some type of video to inform us about the online services that we're going to have to pay for, drop 20 bones on in the next few months, next few weeks, and we still don't know anything about it. I am highly concerned. Let me look through here. Let's see what other folks saying. First name basis says, I'm not sure why it's so difficult for them to get this thing going. Microsoft can help them out with the online voice chat. You know they're not. Do you think Nintendo really seek out to help Microsoft for the online voice chat? It would be a good idea, but I thought Nintendo would do it. But that's a good point, first name. Insane Gamer says, I'm not concerned because Nintendo sometimes surprises us with things we didn't know we wanted. I'm trying to get with you in this game. I don't know. I don't know if I can really go that far with it, man. I'm trying to rock with you on that. I'm trying to give me a little bit more meat on that. Let me read and then see if I can agree with that logic. I don't know. Let me see. Dark Sign Rider says, where We're going to be stuck paying for it because we want to play Splatoon. You are telling the truth. Mario Kart 8 and other games, and you won't be able to if you don't buy it. That's true. That is absolutely true. And I think Nintendo knows that. But, dude, that could actually backfire. That could backfire because if your community is used to not paying, so you've been playing Splatoon since it released for a full year now, a full year and some months now you've been playing Splatoon. A full year and some months you've been playing Mario Kart 8 for free, ARMS for free, online services for free. And Nintendo turns around and makes you pay for it and gives you little to no reason why what you're getting with it. I don't know. That could actually backfire, man. The phone app works fine for what it does, but it is an inconvenience. I've used it for Splatoon. Right, me and Keith Norris and K-Bum tried to use it, and we went to the Google Hangout. It was like, forget this, man. I see K-Bum is in the building. What's up, K-Bum?
Yo, what's up, homie? What's good?
Nothing much, man. Just buying time till you jumped in here. Talking about the fact that Nintendo has yet to have a direct dealing with their online services. And I'm believing that this could backfire if they don't hurry up and explain what you're actually getting and the reason why this is a good purchase, something that you should be willing to drop your money for. I mean, I know $20 ain't a lot, but when you coming from free, because free is even cheaper than 20. So, I mean, free 99 sounds a whole bunch better than $20. $19.99 don't sound like free 99. I'm sorry. So Nintendo got some explaining to do that they haven't done, and they have had all year. Matter of fact, they've had basically the whole lifespan of the Switch to bring us tangible, valuable, important information to make us anticipate and actually prepare us for the purchase of their online service. And they haven't done that. And it's kind of makes no sense that we're in the month that this service is to go live, and we still don't know anything really about it.
So what's the go live date?
This month, sometime this month.
Have they locked down an actual date? I'm trying to remember.
No.
I think they did they?
They haven't. It is a possibility they might push it back. We don't know what Nintendo gonna do. So, because it was supposed to go live last year, and they pushed it. It was supposed to be at the end of last year. Was supposed to be when the service was going to come out.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that.
So there's a strong possibility that Nintendo could come back and say, we decided that we're going to push this out even longer. The Dark Sign Rider says the second half of September is the supposed date. So
we don't have half, but not a hard date, as in
not a physical date like the 21st or the 22nd. No, nothing like that. So yeah. So what's been good, man?
I'm good, man. Let me share some thoughts about with Nintendo, because when it comes to this online, I've been going kind of back and forth with that, because to your point, this community has not known paying for online. I mean, you are absolutely right. But you know, the Nintendo community, I want to say the word loyal. I think they're one of the most loyal communities out there when it comes to supporting their system of choice. So, but the thing is, and I guess the kicker is this, is that if you want to grow and you want to be bigger, you can't just rely on your user base to support you. You have to also have people who, at this point, have multiple systems. I don't know the ratio, so I'm not going to speculate of how many people who only have switches and no other. What is it, 7th gen ran? 8th gen system.
Yeah,
and no other. You know, I don't know that number, so I'm not going to speculate. But my gut tells me, I'll go off of that that a lot of Switch owners also own a PS4 or Xbox One,
Yeah.
and you're introducing a paywall for that is for some people the secondary or third system, and
True.
you know how many people are going to stick with it if they, like you, to your point, they've been playing the Switch. Some may have been playing it more than their other system because they've had being restricted to only being able to do their Fortnite other games without, I mean, now with pain. So I don't know. I'm still how bad of a decision this is really, how big of an impact this is going to have with Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because I have the Xbox One, I have the PlayStation 4. I had my online service for the PlayStation 4 for a full year, and I haven't renewed it, right? I haven't renewed it for several reasons. One, I wasn't using it enough to justify honestly having it. But then I also had a lot of the games. This crossplay has changed the game because I no longer have to have a PlayStation. Well, yeah, I do to play with you on the PlayStation, but I'm just saying, I no longer, if you jump on an Xbox and I got a Switch, games like Fortnite, Paladins, and other games, I can jump on there and play with you on my Switch while you have your Xbox for free. So I didn't need the online services that the PlayStation 4, I need it, but I don't need it. Ain't an urgent need. So I let the PlayStation 4 online services go, and I'm still playing online on my Switch. But here, at some point this month, I'm going to have to buy or pay for the benefit and luxury of playing online on the Switch as well. And the question going to be for me is, first of all, what am I getting with this? The quality of this. And should I get this and the PlayStation, or should I just go and pay for it on the PlayStation and or the Xbox? Because I have never played for it on the Xbox. Or should I it's like I want to play Mario Kart. Like a Dark Sun Rider said, I'm gonna want to play Mario Kart. I'm gonna want to play Splatoon. I'm gonna want to play many other games that's online. Fortnite, Paladins, all these games that's online. Hopefully, Fortnite and Paladins are exempt from the paywall. I know PlayStation 4 and Xbox does that, to where you don't have to pay, you don't have to have the online service to play those games because they're on, they're free to play. I'm hoping, I think Xbox is doing that now. I'm not for sure. I know they wasn't before, but I think they are now. I'm hoping that Nintendo has something like that where Fortnite remains free, Paladins remain free, but of course Mario Kart, Splatoon, and all those titles are going to go behind that paywall. And here we are, we don't know anything about it. That's concerning to me. So, any other thing you want to add to that before we move on?
No, I mean that's a very good point, man. They're shaping themselves up because we assume that gamers can afford, who have multiple systems, I'll put that out there, can afford it all. Like they can afford the Xbox Live, they can afford the PSN, they can afford doing the Nintendo's online service, but they people may be put in a decision now to choose one or the other, and if you are not, as the new person coming in, being clear enough about what you are delivering, you're putting people in a bind here who want it but may not buy it because they don't know what they're getting. And even if they are getting, is it enough for the value of what they're paying for? Yes, it's less money, but are we going to use is it value? Is this a better value than what I can do over here? Now, hopefully, Nintendo can justify that, but I don't know if they put themselves in a position to do that.
I'm also say this: Nintendo is also moving a appealing aspect of the system, because when you buy a Nintendo product, you don't have to worry about paying for online. Now you do. So, Like that's an appeal that they're taking away. So
That's true. That's true.
future sales, that pitch, you no longer have that pitch. Like, and I've heard it. Like you go into a Best Buy or when Toys R Us was here, or you go into a GameStop, Walmart, you hear that pitch. Well, Nintendo platforms are one of the luxuries of that system is you don't have to pay for online. Like with the PlayStation, the Xbox, you had to pay for online, but with the Nintendo Wii U or the Nintendo Wii or now the Nintendo Switch, that's a plus. You don't have to worry about online. Online is free, so you lose that with this online service. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So moving on, Sony doubles down on this whole no crossplay with their platform, basically saying that they have the best place. They have the best place to play. Their community, their platform, the experience that you get on PlayStation is the best place to play whatever game is. So if it's Fortnite, if it's Paladins, if it's Rocket League, if it's whatever that allows crossplay, you don't need it on the PlayStation because our community and the gamers who are here, this is the best place to be. What do you think about that? And what's that arrogance?
So you're gonna put me on the spot with a PlayStation question? Okay, that's cool.
Well, I'm going into the, I'm putting you on the spot, K-Bob.
All right. So, being the resident Sony guy, the guy who loves the Sony brands and their games and kind of what they do. There was a point in Sony's lifespan where I didn't get them and I didn't understand them. And that point in Sony's lifespan was the beginning of the PS3. I didn't get Sony. I didn't really understand their direction, what they were trying to do, what they were saying about their system and stuff, their price point. Like I didn't get Sony at that point. I just didn't understand them. The problem is that they use this very similar language then about thing is, yes, you're supposed to think you're the best. All right, I get it. Xbox still says they're the best place to do this, right? But when you refuse to go along with industry standards and some things that your particular user base is actually asking for, and just told it that you're the best, to me it's like, what are you doing, man? The whole next gen doesn't start till we say it does. That's the vibe I'm getting from this, and I don't like it. I didn't like it then when they said it, and I don't like it now they're saying this. Yes, Sony platform is a good platform to play these games on, but it's the best to you and your understanding. But you gotta show something to the consumers, because at a certain point you're still a big company that wants my money. Loyalty aside, you want my money regardless. And so once you see past that, I don't like that statement. I don't agree with that statement. I think Sony's going back to cocky Sony, which lost them millions of dollars. And I would rather see a open industry Sony that got them into the position that they are now, because they were open. Because the whole E3 conference back in, was that 14, 15, when they were supposed to be the console of the people.
Oh yeah, that's been since the PlayStation. That'd be 13, yeah.
Yeah, 13, when they were like, no, we're the PlayStations of the people. Here, this is how you share games in our console. You just give the other guy the disc and all this, and try to make it seem as if they were consumer savvy and they were about the people. And now it's almost like a 180.
Consumer first, consumer friendly.
Yeah, word. Like I don't get that by their statements. This is about money, Sony. You can color it however way you want to, but this is about money, because you're first, and you don't want to play well with others because you're on top. And if you're on the bottom like you were at one point, you would have been crying about Xbox not playing fair with you. And I don't agree with that double mindedness. And so even as a Sony fan, I can't agree with them.
I would say this. Let's venture into the notion that Sony does have the best place to play. Matter of fact, let's just say Sony is the best place to play.
Okay.
They have over 70 something million systems out there. So actual players, probably the ecosystem probably could be somewhere in between 50 to 60 million. Because you got to factor in the fact that I'm pretty sure those are one person who bought a PlayStation 4 went back and bought a PlayStation 4 Pro, or somebody replaced the PlayStation 4 that broke. So you to factor all that in, I'm pretty sure right now, actual on-hand players available to actually play, you could probably say Sony got about 50 million. I would say that's a comfortable number to say they got 50 million actual, people who own the PlayStation. So they could actually be the best place. But does that mean it can't be better? You can improve on this better. I mean, it's best in my opinion.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, you might be the best. You might have the biggest community. It might, you might not have to wait for any, when you're playing games online, you don't have to wait in the lobby area to connect to somebody. It's probably butter smooth, quick, and easy and simple. Is it better than live? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of arguments, but is there more people available to Sony than live? I would probably say yes. Unless you add in the PC, which I think that would be unfair to do in this sense. Just sticking with who owns Xboxes, who own PlayStation, who own Switches. Yeah, Sony could probably got the best place to play. But that best could be better by opening up the crossplay. And to me, that's the problem. And nobody's arguing that you got the best place. You probably do. It's hard to argue that you don't. But you still can improve on that better. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like adding the bacon to an already awesome burger. you can't do much more to improve the burger, but bacon always makes what's good better.
That's true.
So that's how I see it. Go ahead.
I agree, but I agree with that point. I think that's a great point. When I heard that question, I didn't think of it like that. So that's a very excellent point. I actually like the way you laid that out. But to my piece is that I've been attacking exactly what Sony is saying, because the reason why I attack what they're saying is that they've been singing different tunes about why they're not doing crossplay. Because first, it was to protect their consumers.
Yeah.
What we offer, we want to protect, blah blah blah. So it's not that then, and then it was I forgot the other reason. They have another reason for why they didn't do crossplay, because the users expect something, a certain quality or something like that. And if you're on using someone else's system, they can't tell if it's the Sony system messing up or the Xbox system messing up. So okay, so that's another thing you tell me. And now you tell me, well, now it's the best looking because it's the best place to play. So that's why. I mean, if you don't give me a lie, give me the same lie. Don't pull a Trump and lie 3 different times about the same thing. If we know it's money. Like I don't, and that's the piece like I don't like. It's like it.
Okay.
I don't agree. I don't agree with some people's thoughts about Sony being anti-consumer. I don't think Sony's anti-consumer. I think Sony is pro money, but I don't think they're anti-consumer. But it's hard to argue that point when they do anti-consumer type stuff.
I don't think they are from a core anti-consumer. I just think in this situation, they are showing anti-consumer practices. But with the money thing, not to belabor this much longer, I'm curious what you mean. How is Sony making more money by not allowing their community to access crossplay?
So when say you have a buddy, you have a PlayStation yourself. You have a buddy who has an Xbox, and you're like, man, let's play Paladins together, man. I've been digging this game, or maybe your buddy doesn't have any system. Hey, man, you will love PlayStation. I think you should get a PlayStation and play it too. With crossplay, your friend can say, nah, I'm gonna get an Xbox and I'll just play with you that way, or I'll get a Switch.
You must been you on your phone, ain't you?
Am I cutting out? Hello? Am I
you
cutting out?
In a bad area. You good now? Go ahead.
All right. Which part did you miss?
Basically you said if your friend doesn't have a system, he can either get an Xbox or a Switch. That's kind of where you broke out at.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if they have crossplay, you can either buy an Xbox or Switch or buying a PlayStation. So the way Sony loses money is that if you can only play with your buddy on a Sony system, you would have to buy a Sony system to do it.
Yeah, but okay. I guess. But see, that to me, that's a gamble that to me ain't worth taking. Because I'm be honest, as much as I want to play with K-Bomb, that itch, if I don't want, if I'm not going to go drop $4.99 or $3.99 to play with you, if the games that I want is on an Xbox, whether I can play with you or not, I'm going to buy the Xbox. If the games that I want is on the Switch, as much as I would love to play Paladins with you, I'm going to buy the Switch. It will only make it, I guess it will only make it appealing if there's the games that I want to play are also on the PlayStation. See what I mean? Like, it would have to be something beyond just I can't play with you. So in order for me to play with you, I mean, in my logic, I got to get I got to get a PlayStation. And if I didn't really want a PlayStation and I wanted something else, I'm going to get to something else.
But you have to understand that you are a grown man that can do what he wants.
Okay, I got you.
And when you are an impressionable teenager, you usually like to roll with the crowd.
Man, okay, yeah, you're right.
You usually don't put your foot in the ground and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy this regardless. This is what No, like, oh, man, but all my friends are. You're right.
Because my son came home like, Pops, you got to get Fortnite. Like, why? Man, if all my friends playing Fortnite, man, I need to get on that Fortnite. I'm like, oh, so yep. you tell you right on the money. I didn't think of it that way. Well, okay, all right. You answered that question. So let's move on to our next topic before we get to our main topic, and I'm going to hit this. Hold up. My stuff acting up, but there it is. So let's get it in. So this next topic, when we talking about the situation with Spider-Man, and
Lord,
K-Bomb brought this up, and him, and Keith Norris had like and we're going to have to jump back on Thursdays too, because I see it's hard for Keith to jump on Sundays, and I be hating to miss Keith. So we're going to have to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah, this. You want Keith because he agree with you. That's why you be.
No, I want Keith because he be making some good points, and yes, he do agree with me most of the time. But me and Keith didn't agree on this. So
that's true. That's true.
So, but I just like Keith represented because he made great points. But so
I agree.
Not Sony, but Spider-Man had an obvious graphical downgrade from what was shown up to the actual date it came out. And K-Bomb caught it and noticed. I hadn't played the game, and I wasn't really checking up on the visual quality or the graphical fidelity of it, and how it matched the stuff that was shown prior. I was past it. but he showed a picture where they had Spider-Man off to the right of the screen, and in this, I guess, warehouse where there was a lot of water and stuff on the ground, and then in the current model or the current version of the game, a lot of that is dialed back, visually just dialed back, graphically dialed back. And similar to the Watchmen, was that the name of it from Ubisoft?
Yeah, Watchmen.
Watchmen is in a similar fashion, not as egregious, but in a similar fashion. And the question is this false advertising? And if it is, we're gonna debate the thought of if it is or isn't, and if it is it wrong? Or should we, as gamers, should we be upset? That's what I mean. So go ahead, K-Bum, take it away. You kind of came up with this topic, so I'll let you kind of set up the way you want to.
All right, no problem. I'll go ahead. Hopefully, I'm sounding a little bit better.
Yeah, you good. You good.
I'm on the Wi-Fi at the crib, so I just made it home. So let me set it up. There was a picture of Spider-Man. Just like Level said, it was a picture, and there were puddles on the ground. And inside the puddles, you can see reflections of the buildings. This is the first picture that was shown.
It was Watch Dogs. I said Watchmen. It was Watch Dogs. Thank you, Antonio C.R. Murray. Keeping the brother honest. Welcome to the show as well, Cornelius. Welcome to the show. Who else up in here? Aries 73. Welcome to the show. All right, but Antonio keeping it straight. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Go ahead, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So it was a puddle on the ground, and then in the first picture, that was the E3 17 trailer, I think. I forgot which one it was, 18 or 17 trailer, and it had reflections of the skyline in the puddle, and it looked really cool. I mean, really nice. And then there was another picture of the pretty much same location, and what it had was the reflection in the water it wasn't as clean and clear as the first picture, and it was like a little blurry, so it was kind of hard to tell, and it looked as if it was that stuff. If you ever played a PC game, right, and you've messed with the settings, the shaders, and you turn stuff off, you can see the downgrade when it comes to the graphics. You can see less details in the shadows. You can see less reflections in the water. You can see textures being different. You can see all that stuff if you ever played a PC game and messed around with the settings and so on and so on. What people have been saying is that this is a downgrade, that the game has been downgraded visually. I don't know if you guys remember, but this happened. So sorry, before I get into it, let me say what Sony, because at first everyone was saying, hey, this is a downgrade. I was even saying, yes, that looked like a downgrade to me. It didn't look the same. I'm gonna say what Insomniac, what they said about it, and then I'm gonna go into my points about what Level was talking about the downgrade. So what Insomniac Games said about it, they said was they removed the puddle, some of the puddle, for it was more like for aesthetic reasons, for the look of the game, and that the reason why it didn't look the same is because the sun and positioning was different, and so the lighting was different, therefore causing the game to look different. If you guys remember infamous Second Son, one of the best PlayStation looking games for a long time, came out early, I think the year after the PlayStation 4 launch. I think maybe like that March, I think it came out. But it was the same thing for them. That they had another trailer, and and people said, "Oh, this is a downgrade. This is a downgrade." And Naughty Dog, that's not Naughty Dog. Who is that? Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch came and said, "Oh no, it's the lighting that's caused the game to look." It looked at the colors were washed out, is what it was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a particular graphic. It looked very washed out. And they were saying again, yes, Cornelius, they were saying it was the lighting, and that they had changed the lighting section. But playing the infamous game, I thought it looked dope. I thought it was amazing. I don't know if it actually was a downgrade or not, but I thought it was a great looking game. It was one of the best looking PS4 games for a long time. But back to Spider-Man. So to me, what I saw a lot of people. Let me say a lot of people. I saw some people on Twitter defending Sony, saying, every all these other games have downgrades. Why you guys want to point this out? This game's still going to be great, and so on and so on. And my thing is, which I was again, I'm the resident Sony guy, and I enjoy Sony, but also my point of view is, if I'm going to talk about another game and talk about how they're lying, to my point of view, they're lying to me by showing me graphics in the trailer and those graphics not being represented in the final game, that to me that's a lie, then I'm going to call out all games, despite if I like it or don't. I don't find it fair for me to pick and choose the games I call out, because I want to like this game. Therefore, it's for my system of choice. I won't call it out. And so that's kind of the point of view I was going to. I think, I still call Sony, like, if it's a downgrade, to me, you lied to me. You showed me something, you got me hyped about it, and then I'm going to play it, and it's not going to look like what you told me it was. You're lying to me, and that's exactly how I feel. And I know we gave some analogies about it, in the group chat. We were going back and forth, and one of the things that we laid out was, everyone sees the pictures of the burgers in the commercials. When you think about White Castles, and, well, not White Castles, but like McDonald's and Burger King, you see how perfectly the cheese is laid on top of the burger, how it comes over the edge, and how it has a bit of the mayo and the ketchup oozing out the side, but not too much, and how the burger is the bun is perfectly round and seeded, and the burger is juicy and everything like that. But when you go to McDonald's, that ain't what you get. Uh, you get a smashed down burger that was made by a frustrated 16-year-old. And so, so the point was, is that also a lie? Do you not go to McDonald's because it doesn't look like the picture? Um, and we went back and forth on that, but to me, I feel like that's still a lie. If you say your burgers are supposed to look like this, McDonald's, then I expect your burgers to look like this. And if you don't, I'm disappointed. I don't know if that's why I don't go to McDonald's anymore, because I think partially because McDonald's is disgusting, but still, I still view that as a lie. But for most of that, we ate those lies, literally. We ate those lies and didn't even fret about it. But
Yeah, true. I
that's
would
my
say this, and going with the analogy of the burger, what I would say was, if I go to McDonald's or Burger King, I know what the picture is showing me, but I don't really expect that from a fast food joint. But if I go and I sit down at like an Applebee's, or Outback, Ruby Tuesdays, or Chili's, or TGI Fridays, something like that, I'm expecting what I buy or purchase to look exactly like what the menu says it look like, because of where I am and the quality that's supposed to be given to me because of where I am. So it's how you choose to look at it. But when it comes to this game, let me ask this question, because I saw this asked by Antonio. Or he said that this was supposed to be a representation of the PlayStation Pro version, and what we are seeing now is the PlayStation base model version. Now, I didn't hear that in the reason why the game don't look the same. Like, I didn't hear anybody say this was the Pro version that you saw in the advertisement, and this now what the picture that was shown later was the base model. Was that the case?
I didn't catch that. If someone said that, in my little time reading up on the story and the article, I didn't hear or see that at all.
Okay, all right. Let's make, because I didn't either. So, and I gotta say this. First name basis said I just threw away my Big Mac. Thanks, K-Bun.
I know that's hilarious. That's a good one.
What's up, Rain Tribe? I love Big Macs though. It's so good. Yeah, Big Macs are anyway. We ain't here to talk about these burgers. Yeah, they are good. I like Big Macs, but
Man,
I don't like McDonald's. Ain't
keep
that
them
crazy?
Big Macs.
I like
that
Big
bread.
Macs.
Man,
I like Big Macs and apple pies, and that's all I like from McDonald's. They can keep everything up. I used to like their fries.
Do you see how small the Big Mac patties are now?
Yeah, but I
what
like
doing
the
with your
secret
life,
sauce,
bruh?
man. I like the sauce. Anyway, we ain't here to talk about no burgers. It's definitely not what they showed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Does it look bad? No, it still looks like a great looking game. But the question then becomes, were they falsely advertising this game? That's my question to you. Like, could this fall into the lane of false advertising? Because had they showed the differences prior to, like, or let's say they came out and they showed this crazy graphical, pretty beautiful game, and then they came back and they showed and said that was actual gameplay, and then came back maybe a month or two later and said, actually, we had toned down the lighting. This is the actual representation. To me, that wouldn't be false. But to wait until the game is on the shelf and bought and purchased to show these changes, is that false advertising? I'm throwing it at you, K-Bub.
Yeah, I because let me take some time. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna come back. Hold on.
Okay.
No. I mean, I'm happy. I need like 3 seconds.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get it out. The brain was working. The mouth was going faster than the brain, and the stuttering came on. So I had to stop, think about it, process it, come back out. All right, I'm ready to go. So to me, it's still lying, because when that's like getting them showing me what a game plays like, and then me getting the game and it doesn't play like anything that they showed. I know we're talking about graphics, but what as a whole of what we're talking about is being presented something, even if it's graphics, if it's about the story, if it's about the gameplay, and then when you're getting it not being the same. So if you show me and talk about how this game is supposed to be I forgot what game that they did this, and so they talk about how this game was, how the gameplay of the game was, and then you find out the game was actually just on rails.
Okay.
You know, I forget what game that was, but that happened. They showed this game and it's kind of supposed to be kind of open, and then you find out it's on rails, like it was all a lie, because it looked really good, but the game is on rails. You're following you're not going. The game is going, and you're just looking at places and shooting stuff. You know, I think people would be upset at that, because you were told it was going to be something else, and now you find out the game is just on rails, and you can't actually explore and do the stuff that you thought you were going to do. And yes, we're talking about graphics in this sense, but I'm looking at the bigger whole of the picture. Like these are all different aspects that makes up a game. And if you tell me it's one way, and then I find out it's not, to me that is still a lie, despite if it's graphics or not.
I agree. I want to make a correction. Antonio made a point. He said, no, what I was saying is that the base PlayStation 4 is more than likely the reason for the downgrade as a whole. Sony policy currently makes sure that the base and pro version of games doesn't seem hugely different. So,
except for God of War 4.
Okay, explain.
The 4K version of God of War 4, graphic wise, was far superior than the regular. Like, you can see the difference, but it was in 30 frames per second.
Okay, so
instead of 60.
I was just saying, I just want to make that clarity. He wasn't saying that.
Okay, yeah.
What I said, he was saying that's what he meant. So, they do got that policy there where they require, I guess, parity between the versions. So if the puddles that we saw in the first version was strictly what the PlayStation Pro could do, and Sony made them dial it back to be in harmony or parity with the base model. Do you think that could have been it? And they just saying it's the lighting now, but actually they was forced to dial it back. I think that's what he's saying. I don't want to misquote him. What would you say to that? Okay, you go ahead.
No, go back. I'm sorry. I was reading Cornelius's post, and I didn't catch what you asked me. I'm sorry.
I was saying, based on what Antonio was saying, to keep parity and between the two versions, the Pro and the base, could it be policy wise that all the stuff we saw up to this point was actually what the Pro could do, but in order to keep parity, they had to dial it back to match what is being shown in the base model. So if the Pro model can handle all the puddles and all the lighting, that they had to dial that back to have parity with the base model.
Is that yes, okay? I see the point. I see the point you're trying to make. I
get that though.
I get it, but as far as a game developer and a what they call those guys, when they design the scene or whatever, is that when you talk about the difference between the Pro and the PS and the regular PS4, you can increase stuff like textures. You can increase stuff to like not polygon, but textures, surface stuff, particle stuff. That's what God of War 4 did. It had more particle stuff. The shadows were more intense. The resolution was better with the 4K. But what I don't think I would see is the game would generate more or less puddles depending on the version.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm kind of like, I don't think that's
right. That's hard for me to agree that it would generate more puddles because it's on a PS4 version and less puddles. Like I don't see as a game designer
I can see that
you would do that.
I can see that with like the Switch version. They had to take like what they did with they brought it up Wolfenstein. Like if you watch the breakdown of how they got Wolfenstein on the Switch, on one stage they put a wall up because the Switch couldn't handle the data that was in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox version. So to trick on the Switch, it's a wall there blocking all that extra graphical strain that would be if the Switch had to handle the water and the ship and the whole scenery that's on the PlayStation 4 version. They put this wall up to where all you can see is everything past the dock back. And it helped Nintendo the Switch not have to generate all those graphical visual needs. So, but I don't see that with the place, because from my understanding, the Pro only makes what the base model can do shine at 4K. So what is ever on the 4 base model is going to be at a more crisp, vivid on the Pro. That's all I thought the difference was. I didn't think it was going to be a difference in if the Pro can have all these puddles and the 4 can't. I didn't think that was a part of the equation, but I could be wrong.
No, I lean towards you're being right on that.
But he says the footage was from the PlayStation 4 version the entire time. I don't know. I'm gonna trust him on it, but I just have to trust you on it, Antonio. I don't know, so I ain't gonna argue that it isn't because I have no idea. So, and Cornelius says he asks. I guess he asking the question. So Sony says buy a Pro. I don't know.
So what Cornelius, one thing he's flaming my love for graphics at the same time. That's what he's doing. I appreciate the love, man. I feel the love through the internet. Thank you, Cornelius, and my love for graphics. But Sony has been pushing for people to buy the Pro for a long time anyway, and so if they got to push puddles to do it, I don't know. I guess that's what they're doing. I don't know. But yeah. Like I said, the Pro does other things than just graphics.
Okay.
My main reason for buying a Pro was not graphics. And I know I've
Frame
said
rate.
this on it was when playing NBA 2K, you would play at the park. You remember the park? There's think like 15, 20 games simultaneously going on all at the same time, all on the same server, right? And on the regular version of the PlayStation, when you actually get into a game and play, it was very jumpy. It wasn't smooth. The frame rate would jump, and so if you're trying to shoot a jumper, and it's all based on timing and the elbow placement of your character and how high his jump, you have to go at the apex of his jump, and the frame rate is jumping. You're going to miss shots because the frame you have to guesstimate where you think you have to shoot the shot because the frame rate is not smooth gameplay. And
Right.
so I bought the Pro. One of my main deciding factors is that I wanted to have smoother gameplay because my buddy was telling me that he got the Pro and he doesn't have any of that stuff jumping. It's all smooth, no framework. And so I got the Pro not for just for the graphics, but my deciding factor was to get smoother frame rate when
Yeah, you
playing
remember you saying
online
that.
games.
I
Yeah,
remember
man,
you saying that.
absolutely.
So let's end this topic on this note. So is it fair for those who are kind of not necessarily frustrated but annoyed with these type of practices? Should they have the right to be annoyed with it?
Um, we should call out wrong. Wrong should be wrong. Wrong should be wrong.
Okay, so
Regardless of who's doing it, if it's Nintendo's doing it, if it's Sega doing it, if it's Sony, if it's Xbox, if it's Ubisoft, because they've done it, wrong is wrong.
yeah.
If
Okay.
if you're lying to me, you're lying to me.
Okay.
But if you still think, because remember, The Witcher had a downgrade too. I've said in the chat room, The Witcher was downgraded as well. The one probably in my case.
But didn't they show that before the game came out though?
I don't think they said it directly though.
But they did let you see the actual footage of the game, and we was able to notice that it wasn't the same before you bought it. I think that's where I think the frustration or annoyance come, was the fact that you didn't find this out until you actually bought it. Whereas with Witcher 3, yeah, we saw the downgrade, but it was way before we actually bought it. You started seeing it when they would actually play it. You noticed the lighting wasn't the same and the textures wasn't the same, even though it still looked good. You saw that this must have been a high-end PC playing on this version, and this must be the actual PlayStation and Xbox version here. You saw that way before you actually bought it. And so it wasn't like they were lying to you. They gave you the best representation of the game at its first initial showing. Then they started showing you what you would actually play based on what system you owned, what the quality of your experience would be. Whereas with the Spider-Man game, you was led to believe this is what you're getting until you actually bought it.
The game isn't out yet though. I understand your point.
Spider-Man isn't out yet?
Nah, it comes out.
Well, then they ain't falsely advertising. They showing you now what it's gonna look like. Okay, I thought it was out.
No. I think Spider-Man comes out this week. It comes out in September. In September, what? This September 2nd? No,
well, that the bunks are. We got to recant. Okay. Well, Sony, they ain't did nothing wrong then, because clearly this is being discussed before you can buy the game.
September 7th is where it comes out.
Oh, I think they fine. If they showing it and they letting you see the differences, even though it is real close to the release, you still get to see it before you buy it. So that ain't false advertising.
I still think they lied.
They lied up to this point, but you know about the lie before you drop your 60 bones. So you can choose not to buy it now if you want to. See what I mean? So, but anyway, it's debunked. So let's move on to our main topic, man. I'm glad you're here. So last week we didn't have the podcast, and we were sitting and we talking. You told us about it. He was like, man, did y'all hear about this shooting that took place at a Madden tournament in Florida? And of course, I was like, no. So I went and looked it up, and I actually saw some of the footage of what took place, and you can clearly see that the person that shot the individuals had a beam on the gun, and had the one guy, you could literally see the red LED, I guess, I don't know, red light flash on his chest up to, it came down his body, his torso. And then the next thing you know, you start hearing shots, and then the camera goes blank, and then you hear the rest, that you find out that 2 people lost their life innocently, and then one person who killed these 2 individuals, he took his own life. So first of all, we want to deal with that, and then we want to deal with the ideal of the thought of mental health and gaming, and is it a real issue that we are not talking about enough? So first of all, give me your thoughts on what took place, man, and how you felt about it when you heard about it, and your initial thoughts.
Yeah, no problem. So I was following the whole thing. I knew about the shooting maybe 10-15 minutes after it happened. I was at church at that day. I was at church at that point, and I started to see on my Twitter that people talking about something went down at this Madden tournament, because I follow some of the guys that do Madden, some of the developers and stuff like that, and I started to hear about there was a shooting, and so I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then I read some more stuff trying to find out what's going on. Then I find out they say True Boy's dead. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? True Boy's dead? What you mean? What's going on? I'm following the whole thing, and so it was weird, man. So I was talking to my wife about it, and she was like, why is this bothering you so much? Because I was shook by the whole thing. And she asked me why is the whole, because the whole day, I was with my friends. It was a birthday party, and I'm on my phone, stay looking at tweets, trying to see what's going on, how many people it was, is the shooter still active, and all that other stuff. And she asked me why it's affecting me so much. And for me, like my initial reaction was like, wow, but it affected me so much because I relate. I guess because I relate to those guys who were shot. To me, they're no different than me getting shot. Because people know I was competitive at one point when Madden never took it to. When I was competitive with Madden, it wasn't as big as it is now, and so I didn't travel anything like that. But it was like local stuff I did. But thinking to myself, that could have been me. I could have been at a Madden tournament getting shot. So it just related to me as far as a gamer and the game it was, and the fact that this is an escape that we do. From life. Sometimes, for me, I'm very busy with church, active in, my job, with the wife, with kids and everything. This is, what I do for fun, for chill. It's been my pastime since I was a kid. And to see someone get shot over something I do for a hobby I love to do just blew my mind. I was trying to wrap myself around it the whole day. And so it took me a while to kind of get, past all of that, because later I started to see more on Twitter, more gamers actually who are outside the Madden circle actually hear about it, see and kind of see their thoughts and their ideas about it. And so, but yeah, the whole time I was shook from it. It was kind of affecting me down to the core, which was surprising for me, because it was just, for some people just video games, but to me, it's a little bit more than that. I mean, yeah, I'm up here doing a podcast about video games, but I related more with those guys than I thought I would, and so that's why it really impacted me a lot more than I actually thought it would have.
I can understand that, man. When that shooting took place in the churches, when all them shootings was taking place, that it impacted me, because of the position I play. That we had people come in, and dude came in with a trench coat, what do you do and how do you respond? So I can understand how, a Madden tournament, that's what you into. You actually have entertained the thought of it, actually participating in these things, and to hear something like that take place at a place where folks are out to enjoy themselves in, what I'm saying, competitive gameplay, to hear that people lost their life sitting there playing a game, enjoying themselves, and a person who could not handle their loss took their life in his own. That's crazy to me. So when I saw it just, I won't say it took me back. It took me back because of the lack of value for life and the fact that something so trivial, so small, so insignificant as I lost triggered a person to think that the only way to resolve this issue was to go to my car, get out a gun, come back and begin to shoot the place up because I lost. And that part was like, where are we at as people to where we cannot handle and deal with disappointment and think that the only way to resolve it is to do bodily harm to other people rather than to man up and take the loss. That to me was what really had me puzzled for a day. Like, I was talking to my wife, I was like, man, that's crazy. But then you think about the stuff that you hear about when you hear about two friends online and get mad at each other, and the friend goes to the friend's house and stabs them 50 times, but they were online friends. I don't think they were actual friends in life. But the online friendship went south because the online person didn't like what the other person said and saw the need to go find them and do physical harm to them because of something that took place online in a video game. Like, is there real issues amongst, because the reason I want to talk about this, and I know we're going to go to some places that's going to get uncomfortable, but I think it's fair to get uncomfortable because I kind of got annoyed with the fact that, I don't know this young man who took these two dudes' lives. I don't know him. I don't know what he experienced, what he went through, what his mental state was. Of course, it wasn't on. But the fact that they tried to make him a sympathetic person because of the mental issues, that kind of rubbed me wrong too. I want your opinion on that as well. That kind of did rub me wrong. Okay, Bum, you muted if you're saying something.
No, I was letting you finish your thought.
Yeah, that rubbed me wrong. Like, when I saw the news and the coverage, and you found out the who was behind it and how the sympathy was kind of, even though he did wrong, it was like trying to play more on the mental health rather than just the wrong that he done. And it's like, I don't know this person from Jack and Jill, but I feel like if you're able to participate
at a high level, this isn't just this isn't backyard Madden. This isn't just, hey, I invited my buddies over to play Madden. This is the highest level of competition you can have in Madden. So there has to be some strong mental capacity to be able to compete on the highest level of Madden.
Travel there on your own. It wasn't like your parents had to assist you to get here. So I don't understand this. To me, and I guess we might not want to venture off into this because this gets into some areas that might not be comfortable. But I don't know.
You know what? I want to take something. I do want to take something there. I do. I'm gonna try to be soft with it, but I do want to slightly take it there because, a lot of times we don't talk about certain things. And I know that to me there's a whole bigger issue that I can't really touch on here on the podcast and level. Exactly what the issue is, a way bigger issue than that. But what I do want to touch on is this. I wonder if he didn't have any psychological, because the thing is he did have psychological issues.
Yeah.
There's proof he took medicine, blah blah blah. But I wonder if he did not actually have psychological issues, if they still would have painted that picture as if he did. Because believe it or not, there is a tendency to paint um, white shooters, and I'm just gonna be completely honest here. I'm not. I don't want to come off the wrong way. So you guys just work with me. But there's a tendency, not everyone, not always. So I'll make sure I say that right. There's a tendency to paint white shooters as the reason why they reacted they did was because of mental issues,
Yeah.
not because of them disrespecting human life, not because of them
Not valuing it. Yeah.
senselessly not valuing taking someone else's life because they did all of that. There is a tendency to lean towards mental health, and you know, when it first happened, and we found out it was a Caucasian brother. That's the first thing thought in my head. Will they paint this to be a mental issue? But for this case, he does have that history, so you can draw that conclusion. Not saying that it is, not saying that it's not, because we don't know what his state was. We don't know what he was going through at that point in time. But just because there's a history, you could actively paint that picture and say what it was.
Yeah.
But to the other hand, is when it's not a um a brother of Caucasian descent. If it was, because I'll tell you this. Like I said, I'm trying to be careful because you know what I'm saying. I just want to paint in the right picture. I don't want this to go down a certain path. But I was reading on Twitter, and when the news came that there was a shooting in Jacksonville at the mall, when there was a shooting, and to me, I like to read all type of news. I don't read anything. I just don't read news that support my belief, and I like to read news that does not support my belief. And so I was reading the sheriff report on Twitter saying that there was a shooting at the mall. Don't go to the mall. And I was shocked by what I read is that the majority of people on in the tweets not having any information about what happened all said it was gang violence.
And I didn't think that. And I remember we talked about it. And I tell you, I remember you saying, man, I think it was just somebody just ran up in there that was upset and shot. I was like, no,
they
bro, I think it's somebody who lost.
they said it was gang violence, and they said this is the issue in our city is gang violence, all that hippity hop music, and they're shooting up the place, and we can't go anywhere safe. All this gang violence, and I'm reading that, I'm like, you have no facts, you have no information, you don't know. How is that your conclusion to what happened? It's a Madden concert. These guys aren't thugs. These guys are playing video games, and it went through my head like, why is that the first place, right? And so I guess that's why I'm drawing, because if there if it was considered gang violence, and say it was, that there have been no conversation about the mental state of that gang member. There's been no talk about the issues that person would have had on their how
No, it
their
wouldn't have
life been
been.
affected. But it's immediately assumed that that they were conscious enough to make that decision and to do that, and therefore they're bad people or animals or whatever is considered to be called. So like I said, I'm trying to be as clear as possible without
Without, yeah. And that's what I
without
was trying to do myself. I'm like, do we want to vid? Because I didn't want to make it this, but it does that bother me, because when you told me, when you was like, you said, man, I think it was some outside entity that just came in and targeted this place and shot it up. I was like, nah, okay, bud. I bet you any amount of money it's a person who got mad because they lost. And that's what came to me. It's like, that sound like I lost and I'm upset. And that's what it was. But then the fact that ain't dealt with more than, and when you find out the who done it, and the complexity of the person who done it, it is spent, the more of the mental health is brought up, and kind of the lives that were lost were kind of overlooked because we dealing with the mental health, and then this bleeds into the state of gaming as a whole. So we don't want to. I don't believe these incidences are. I don't believe we deal with this stuff the way we should, because it leads to, because that's the first question. I was like, who was it? Who done it? And based on that, I drew my conclusions. But to go farther than that, the question has to be asked, man. Are we not, as a community, addressing the mental health of the folks who are in the community that we see on a regular, that we hear when we online, that we hear in comment sections? Like, I've saw some of the most craziest stuff because of a proclivity for a particular platform, a love for Sony, and or a love for Nintendo, or a love for Xbox, has caused people to want to get up and fight like games, like they life, like this is a fisticuff situation. My life depends on this. I got to defend this plastic. Like, we are seeing mental issues all the time. Are we not really being honest about the mindset of many of the gamers that we call fellow gamers?
I think that. So I'm gonna say this because we as gamers don't like this being tied to us. We really don't, but it's the truth. There is a such thing as video game addiction. There is. I'm not saying that that people are, that everyone who plays video games is addicted to it. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that there is such a thing, that because what happens is that they supplement reality,
right,
for video games.
That's blur the lines. The video game becomes their reality.
Yes, absolutely. It starts to blur and becomes an addiction that it becomes something you can't get rid of, and you have to have. You have to get that hit. And so there is such a thing. I know we don't like to say it because it paints us in a bad light, but let's be honest. There is such a thing as video game addiction. And I don't believe we address, because what I saw, and your point, Cornelius, yes, you can be addicted to almost anything. You can be addicted to smelling your socks, to be honest with you. But let me digress. What I saw in the video game community was a defense of video games being the issue of what happened this issue, or so not being the issue, being a part of the reason why this happened. But I think we have to take another look at ourselves and say, is video game voided from this incident? Does it have anything to play? Not is the cause.
Does it play a part?
Does it play a part? Not that is it completely void, but does it play a part? And and I'm sorry. I think I don't think so. Let's get this straight again. I'm not saying valid video games make violent people. Let's get that straight. Valid video games do not make violent people, but certain type of games can continue to feed something that you already have inside of you. That's different.
Yeah, that's what I was about to go. Violent, like, because when you was talking about addiction, I was going to say you could be addicted to video games and not be prone to violence, right? You can have an addiction to video games and not be prone to violence, but then some people might be prone to violence, and the video game might connect to that violence that's in them.
Exactly.
So it feeds something that was already, it triggers what's already there, or it gives
already there.
It gives influence and power and encouragement to what's already there.
There's a study, and I really want people to actually check this out. There's a study. I'm gonna try to find it on YouTube. There's a guy. You remember that thing that Reggie did for the Switch when he was going back and forth with a guy about the Switch?
Question and answer
It,
type
it was
thing.
like it was a YouTube type thing. He has graphics and everything. The guy name was Matt Pat.
Matt
You probably,
Pat.
probably don't remember it, but it's a guy
Pactor,
that
Matt Pactor,
no no
Michael
no no
Pactor.
no 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 one Michael Pachter. No. The guy's name
Okay,
is Matt Pat.
okay.
He has a web channel called the Film Theorist. He's actually a very very intelligent guy.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what
Yes,
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
I follow him. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they went back and forth. So
Mm-hmm.
he actually has a I'm trying to see if it was actually on his Film Theorist website or it
You
was
should
on
just
the
said film theories. I would have caught you then.
yes, or it was on the I think it may be on the Counter video game because there's a video game theorist theory website, and what he tackled was he tackled the belief that some people say that video games are um, cause people to be violent. Game theorist, that's the name of the website. It's called
Yeah.
Game Theorist, and what they found out is what he found out is that he did it was fascinating what he did, and what he found out was that certain people, that people with a certain trait, are more violent in video games. Like when they're presented with a option to be passive or an option to use violence, that the people who are naturally passive in real life are passive in the video games,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who are naturally more aggressive in real life turns out to be more aggressive in the video game.
Right.
And so he drew that correlation that the video game doesn't take the passive person and make them violent.
Right.
That's what he was.
Yeah. It's
That's what
like
he
the
was
movie.
drawing. It was like I'm trying to find a video, and maybe I can.
I know
Um,
what one you're talking about. I know what you're talking. I seen it. What I and I was going to use this analogy. I don't know how many people here seen the movie Juice. Bishop's character, he was already had violent tendencies. He was just a coward. When he got the gun didn't make him violent. The gun empowered his violence. It empowered Bishop, and it made him feel more empowered over his friends. And the more he tapped into that nature that he already had, the more he continued to tap into it, and to the point that he became a serial killer. But it was already in him. Like if you watch a scene where they watching the movie, he said he want to go out like that. When the dude basically was committing suicide, I can't remember what movie it was, but the Tupac character, which was I think was Bishop, said he wants to go out like that. I know people, personal folks that I've been, acquaintances with or friends with, that have violent tendencies. And you see it like what K-Bum was saying, you see it in choices that they make. They tend to lean to violence. They like music that leans violent. So it ain't that the music causes you to be violent, but if you have leanings and repressed ideas or repressed character traits that are violent or lean violent, then this stuff will help you actually act out what might be fictional and imaginative in your mind. These games, these music, movies, all can help bring you to a place to where what you meditating on, you actually put in action. A rapist might watch the certain things, and it encourages them or pressures them or influences them to act out they repressed desires. It ain't that the movie made them do it. It's the movie encouraged and influenced them to influence something that was already there. And I don't think we deal with this enough when it comes to these, with games. Because there's a lot of stuff like why I got rid of Doom. It wasn't because I got rid of Doom because I didn't like what it was seeming to have in it, and I was like, I don't like that, so I got rid of it. I ain't saying Doom was gonna make me a devil worshiper, but Doom for some folks might. It might help them go down that path. So anyway, we don't deal with this stuff enough. Go ahead, K-Bum. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but
No, you're perfectly right. I mean, we don't deal with this type of stuff as a gaming community. We kind of, you know, I won't let me paste the I won't let me
I
paste in the
see it.
web address. I was trying to. You see it?
Yeah, you just said this is the link, and you about to. I see what I see you saying. You about to
No,
post it.
I posted it, but it's not letting me actually post the
Oh, actually,
link. It says remove any web addresses and post. Yeah, it won't let me actually post the link. Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't think we address it enough. I think we usually just call those the weird kids. those are
Mhm.
That's that weird kid. We don't deal with that type of stuff. We don't. Yeah, we just don't deal with it. But
Yeah,
it to be honest, it needs to be dealt with. Or so here's the thing to your point level. To your point, there is a one of the Madden announcers is actually talking about the kid. This is beforehand,
mhm.
and he's talking about the kid.
This is the one who did the shooting.
Yeah, the kid that did the shooting.
Okay.
And he's talking about it. And what he talks about how the kid is, his eyes is intense. Um, and he's a perfect competitor. He didn't come to make any friends, and he's talking about how he tried to talk to him, and the guy wouldn't even talk to him. He was just, you know, um, it was just like just pretty much saying he was a weird kid that just was like just bent on playing this game and didn't have any social skills. He didn't have any social skills. He didn't have any friends in the tour. No one really talked to him because some of them couldn't talk to him because he wouldn't talk. And you would think if he probably would have friended somebody on there, maybe he wouldn't have done it. But he talks
Mhm.
about him being an introvert, being a loner, him not wanting to deal with people, and him just keeping to himself and being so intense and all this other stuff. And to your point, we look past people like that and we walk past them like, oh man, something wrong with him, and we keep rolling.
And here's the crazy thing, K-Bone. Sometimes they don't look like that person. Like he might have been an obvious. You can kind of, man, something wrong with him. But the crazy thing is sometimes it's people that's talking to you seem to be normal, and that be the one. It just takes something to trigger it to let you see, hey, like when the dude went and stabbed the dude 50 times, they were cool until this person said or done the wrong thing over a video game and Daniel lost his life over it. And it's like, that's why with me, I avoided certain communities because it's like, man, these folks is crazy. Like putting personal information, like a video game squabble or disagreement over games and systems made you go into this person's private life and pull up pictures and pull. These are mentally challenged individuals, and these are normal day-to-day functioning, working 9 to 5, making good money, married with kids, doing this stuff. So as games and online, especially online and social media and 24/7 access to people, because that's something like people around the world, like some people don't even have relational relationship with tangible people. They only relationship was with a dude whose surname is Get It Done Xbox Live. That they don't even know the real person. You see what I'm saying? So they don't even have real interaction. And so as we are on internet, on social media, we are 24/7 live, 24/7 streaming. People able to tune into our life, what we doing all the time at any time that they want. I think this has literally altered a lot of our brain chemistry, how we process, how we see things. And for some, it might be a little much. Some people ain't as balanced in everything as others. So I don't know, man. It is an interesting thing because when I jumped in YouTube, I quickly saw that not everybody is is normal, even though they might seem to be. Then not everybody is normal. Not everybody is sober. Not everybody is just in it for the joy and the fun of it, and it's just a pastime. It's just a hobby. It's just something you do for recreational fun. Some people take this stuff to heart. It's their life. Is they live, breathe, sleep this. And some even go beyond this. They willing to take their own life and take somebody else's life over a digital video game. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Go ahead. I see you muted.
Yeah. No, I was trying to read what Cornelius was just typed. Yeah, man. It's
I'm trying to be safe, man, because I don't want to.
No. I think we've done a pretty good job of talking about this, and trying to touch on it without, because one cool thing with this podcast, and I love with you and the other guys that we have over here now is that we're respectful for what other people believe that may be different than ours. Other podcasts, and I'm not naming names because I'm not even going to do that. But there are some podcasts that, if you don't believe in what they are trying to give to you, there is no counter argument. It's only this, and anything else they say is a lie or blah, blah, blah. And if anyone else hears this podcast and you think that's you, I wasn't talking about you, but it probably is now. But
and I would say this, man, to add on top of that, to piggyback on what you're saying, man. Sometimes, and I said this before, sometimes we need to check why we like certain things. Why do we gravitate to the negative, more negative leaning podcasts, the ones that's constantly keeping up drama and back and forth bickering and exposing each other? Why are we attracted to that? You go over here and some people only popular and they got the numbers, not because of they so elegant with talking about games. It's because you're going to get a whole bunch of drama popping off over there. If I go to this podcast with this group, not to name anybody, I'm finna get drama between these people. It's going to constantly be drama here and there, and they're going to be constantly fighting and bickering back and forth with one another. And that's the draw. But we got a question. Why am I drawn to that? Why am I drawn to drama, to somebody else trash? Why am I drawn to that? Why can't I go find a podcast that, they disagree, but it's wholesome and it's, I got to find a podcast that only agrees with me. Like, we need to check ourselves and the content that we allow ourselves to entertain, because it says something about us too. It might be exposed to something about ourselves that we need to look at. So there's a lot of ways you can look at it, man. But I'm agreeing with you. We need to do better as a community. We need to do better as individuals within the community. And we need to, really look at that person in the mirror and be like, man, if you got issues, get help. You know what I'm saying? If you know you having issues, that, what somebody said to you in the comment section got you off, and you at work off, and you can't deal with your family because of what, you might need to get some help. You might, maybe I need to take a break from this. Maybe I need to cut myself off of it if this affects me this much.
Yep.
You need to be real with yourself.
And thing is, I was just talking to that Ninsane gamer, that the Madden community is actually starting to change this now, because they were in a place where it was very toxic. A lot of competitive gamers talked about that. It was very toxic. And they're actively trained as a community to change how they communicate and talk about games, and talk to each other. Because a lot of people, a lot of guys, I've been reading their statements. That, like, one guy said he's so shook right now that he hasn't even picked up a video game controller, because he was actually at the building. He was there. He was in the building. He was there.
Yeah, I can understand, man.
You know what I'm saying? And it's that big of a fact. He hasn't even picked up a controller, and says, he hope that one day he can again. It's that bad. But Madden is actually trying to change their community, and they have a slogan now called "We Are Madden." And so what happened was, which I think is really cool, to be honest with you. So what happened is this: one of the developers I follow, Clint Ogenberg, what's his name? Somebody came. They didn't come at him at Twitter, but they were very. There was a bug or something happened to the guy, and it you know what I'm saying, it was a bug in the game, and it messed up, and he lost the game, and he came at Clint, like wrong, just like, man, fix this, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Why isn't this working, blah blah? And Clint came back and said, hey man, you know what I'm saying, first of all, you know what I'm saying, we can do this without the name calling, right? We can do this without calling each other names. You know what? I'll look into this issue and try to see what I can do. But you know what? Let's come and talk to each other as humans instead of coming, because since we're anonymous, not anonymous on the internet, you know, y'all don't know your true name. You know, let's not do that. Let's actually talk to each other like humans, man. But I'll look into it for you. And the guy was like, and the guy came back and on Twitter was like, oh, whoa, what? I wasn't expecting that. My bad, man. I didn't know. You know, and it totally changed the other guy, because the other guy was like, "Oh man, my bad. I wasn't really trying to come at you like that. I just got in the moment because I was mad because I lost the game. But you know, I wasn't trying to come at you like that. And you know, my apologies. You know, but it doesn't start with the person making the comment. It starts with the person reacting.
Yeah,
you know, and
because you can choose not to react.
And what I ain't gonna get too biblical with this, because I can sure go there with this.
No, but I'm trying not to. That's why I'm trying not to do that. Trying to be safe, bro. Trying to be safe on two fronts. Trying not to make this racial. I'm not trying to make y'all too super
religious.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, they say, you know, someone's been cussing their whole life. Like, what? Well, I just can't stop cussing. This person, I said, well, when did you cuss? I cuss when I'm mad. Well, you can control how you react when you're mad. Like, you can't control someone not making you mad, but you can control your reaction when you are. Yeah. And so that's the piece that we need to get as a community is, you know, when someone is being that toxic, is how we react to it. And then, you know, hopefully that same attitude can be replicated, that a person can get a hint of it, and we replicate that back down.
And stop giving them a platform to be toxic.
Yeah.
Once you remove a platform from a person, once people start showing that they are is toxic, and they using toxicity and drama and negativity as a platform to build they self, don't give them your ear. Don't give them your view. Ignore them. That's the best, because that's what happened to, and I let it alone. That's what happened. That's what kind of dismantled and tore down this community. I'm not talking about disagreeing. You can disagree. I can make a reaction video disagreeing to what somebody said in their video. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Cats was going beyond just, I don't agree with that, and this is why I don't agree, or this is how I feel about it. When folks were going beyond that and making it personal and insulting and putting down and trash talking, you don't have to give that person your audience. You know, your sitting audience. You don't have to sit there and I noticed, and I'm gonna be honest with myself, I started checking myself on it and started like, look, I'm gonna remove these people out of my radar, because you could get lost in that. You can get lost in them back and forth and lost in the comment section and, ooh, look what he said. Oh, look. And then next thing you know, you the pig flipping and flopping in the mud with these jokers. Now you dirty, and you got to detox mentally and get all that mess out your mind, all that foul language out your head that you want to listen to for the last hour or 30 or 20, 15 minutes. And if you going back to each different video, listen to, now you filled up and clogged up with all this stuff, and then you negative. And then you know, eventually it's going to rub off on you too. So sometimes, like K-Bump said, you need to detach yourself. You need to check how you respond to negative stuff and the whole nine. Like, we need to be mature. That's what it comes down to. Start being more mature. A lot of us are 30 plus. acting like this, when we hear stuff like this, it's shocking, but it's not surprising. I knew this dude did this because he lost. And that's crazy. You would think it couldn't have been because he lost. But I was like, man, I just knew he did this because he lost, not because he was targeting them and wanted to just shoot some people up, not gang violence. This was a disgruntled loser. That's what it was. And not only did he take people's lives, he took his own life. So instead of just taking your life, you got to injure folks, take other folks' lives who families are hurt. We don't know if they had kids. A sister lost a brother lost a brother, a mother, father lost a son, somebody lost a cousin, somebody lost a nephew, somebody lost a friend, all because you could not manage the fact that you lost. That's why I ain't even for, like in school, giving everybody trophies, because we don't teach people how to lose. And somebody said it, sometimes this ain't mental issues, sometimes this is undealt with, spoiled individuals who ain't being dealt with. You know, but that's that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm annoyed with the fact that those folks lost their life because this person couldn't handle his loss. That bothers me. I'll be honest with you. I have sympathy for the life of the person who shot, and I don't want to see anyone going through a loss, but outside of that, it bothers me that two people innocently lost their life, and the families were robbed of a person and a presence in their life, and now they're going through tragic hardship and hurt because someone couldn't handle losing. I don't like how the news is handling this, because it gives compassion in a way that shouldn't be. Not to be compassionate for the person who did this, but showing too much compassion and not dealing with the situation to avoid this. I just think we ain't dealing with this right. I don't think everybody should get trophies when the kids lose. You lost. You don't need a trophy. You lost. Deal with the loss. Like when we was coming up, K-Bone, we didn't get trophies for losing.
You ain't getting nothing. Or you
we ain't getting nothing.
You better try harder next time.
Try harder. And you didn't get a honorary medal for track. If you won first, second, or third, you got nothing.
You get to watch the winners celebrate.
Right. So we are creating people who can't handle. In some ways, we are creating a generation of folks that can't handle disappointment. Taking
a nail.
But again, we don't want to go there. So I'm a go left from here. So that's all I got to say. Any final thoughts on this, K-Bomb, before we get out of here?
No, man. I think we've talked about this topic pretty good. Now, I think it's awesome, man. I'm pretty happy, man, with the way this topic turned out, because I know it could have went a lot of different ways. Now, I'm happy to actually be able to address some of those things that we kind of talked about without, being put in a certain label for saying those things, and just seeing the support from the comment section at that, Simzam, Cornelius, first name basis. I know that they've been in the comment section commenting on this topic, even though it's a very difficult topic. And Dark Sun Rider, as well. I said first name basis too, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Been down here, in the comment section, commented on it as we walking through.
Instant Gamer was in it too.
Yeah. Instant Gamer. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I think that's pretty cool that even, some people said that even it's because of how we, can able to discuss and disagree on this podcast that people even come to listen to us talk, which I think, to me, is pretty awesome, and I appreciate all that love and support, man.
And I did know what you just said, man. I do. I like the fact, and that's why I wanted to remove myself to a platform where honest discussion could be had. I wanted wholesome, fair, balance, agree, disagree, but respect, to where folks can come here and hear a diverse idea when it comes to gaming. And not every time me and K-Bum gonna be on the same page. Not every time me and Heath are Keith and Jedi Knight can disagree and still be fine. D2K can disagree with Keith and still be fine, and that's fine. It's when it get toxic, and when your opinion is the only opinion, and I see that a lot in this community. I see the unhealth of it, and then when you hear about these shootings and kids shooting kids, and it's like, dude, you couldn't resolve that another way. Y'all had a dispute, and the only thing you saw to resolve it, like a kid just lost his life in a neighboring city over a dispute. Now 4 people, the person who got killed and the 3 who done it, they finna lose their life behind bars, and this person's family is going to have someone that they lost. It's like, I don't know, man. We just ain't really dealing with people and what they going through, the issues that they dealing with, because people are going through mental issues and mental stress, especially amongst the Black community. We don't deal with mental issues well. We don't. That's one thing I would give our Caucasian brothers. They go see psychiatrists and sit down and air out what's going on in their mind and in their thoughts. Yep. We are not as conditioned to do that. And then when we do get caught in situations, because we don't have the paper trail that show we had mental issues, we just a thug. But we were no different. That person that did that was no different than the young white male who shot the school up. They both had mental issues, but one is viewed differently based on background and what and all that. So again, not to go into that, but even in the Black community, we need to be more open, transparent, dialoguing about the trauma that we experience, and these kids going through a lot. So, and these kids play video games, and these kids go to these tournaments, and these, just like our brothers, they come out of homes and being neglected and overlooked and left home by themselves, TV raising them, video games raising them, music raising them. And these be the ones who show up at these tournaments. So there's mental health, and it's a true situation. You don't see all these folks on drugs for nothing. You don't hear about these epidemics for nothing, but it's been ravaging other communities even longer than those communities have been given credit for. So it's all the way around. It's something we just need to talk about. But I'll get off my soapbox.
The soapbox.
So with that being said, man, I'm glad you jumped in. I hate that Jedi and Keith and D2K couldn't be here, but I do feel like we had a good conversation. I appreciate everyone that was in the comment section for tuning in. Any final words, K-Ball?
No, man. Like I said, I appreciate the love from the comment section. I appreciate our conversation. I actually like disagreeing with you. It makes it fun. But yeah, man, just nothing but love, man. Like I said, man, I love you as a brother. Like for real, no homo. But
I got you, man. You ain't got to, man. See, that's what I'm saying, man. We can't be mature. Anyway, I'm gonna get into a message. But anyway, I ain't gonna mess with that. But you ain't gotta say that, bro. I know you ain't. I know that very well. So
for sure.
But yeah, man, I love you back, bro. And anyway, we just need to. I think maturity and true manhood and women. No, I ain't trying to exile. I'm just saying, because a lot of this is perpetuated by males. I think folks need to see what real manhood looks like and what true mature male looks like and sounds like and acts like. And I feel like if more of those type of individuals penetrate this community, it brings more help. I saw somebody just post, the fact that they thought he was a certain way. He just posted that him and his girl friend online like to prove that he like girls. Like, bro, if the community, who cares what these people think? You know what you are. You don't have to post this picture to prove that. That's how you know you ain't balanced in this thing, man. It's like, I'm not gonna post my wife on nothing to prove to you I'm married. I don't need you. I don't care. I told you I'm married. If you don't believe it, good. I don't care. I'm not finna post her picture to prove to you that I am. It ain't that serious for me. So we need to deal with this stuff. We need to talk about this stuff more. Sometimes we need to break away from just talking about games and talk about mental health and all that, because it is apparently and obviously it needs to be discussed. So we might need to do this even more, man.
I'm down.
All right. Well, Till next time, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This has been a long one. We well, it needed to go longer when we hit that main topic, but
Yeah, for sure.
I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for everyone tuning in, and we are out. Deuces.